All righty, time for a mailbag. Don't normally do one this early in the morning, so we will see how we go. Welcome to Tuesday. That's right, Tuesday in the US, Wednesday here in Australia. We are going to do a live mailbag show. This is Stuff It, a fantasy basketball podcast. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, listening along after the fact. Please remember to go and subscribe to the Old Man Squad YouTube channel. We hit 10,000 subscribers overnight. I checked that first thing I got up in the morning, and yeah, that's pretty exciting. I'm sure Dan is happy about that. But still, go and subscribe if you haven't already. Do give this video a thumbs up and find us on the audio platforms and download over there. Joining me for the mailbag show is fellow Old Man Squad member Noah Rubin. It's been a while. I haven't had you on for, I don't know, it's been a few weeks. It feels like forever.
Yeah, I have no way to comprehend how long it's been off the top of my head. I just feel like my mind's not working like that right now. So it has been a while, been too long, and this is always fun. So I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, I normally do these live mailbag shows in the evening, my time, which catches a lot of people that aren't in the US, I think, because it's, like 2, 3 a.m. When I record it in the US. So I thought I'd do one now, and then I may do a second sort of show this afternoon or this evening to catch everyone else, because there's a lot of regular people that watch that show and they're potentially asleep. I'll know from the comments whether they're here. But yeah, there'll be a few that will miss it, so I may do a second show as well. Just a reminder, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel and FanTrax. All right, well, we've got some questions. I wasn't sure whether we'd get any. You never know with these live shows. So the benefit of a live show is that our prep is zero. We just turn up. But if there's no questions, then we have no content. So thankfully we do. But before we get into the questions, just what have you thought about the first week of action? We've had our usual sort of list of injured players, standout performances. What stood out for you so far?
Man, Kingy, there's been a lot. And I feel like the crazy part to say, and probably this doesn't answer your question super well, is just that like we can't overreact to anything as much as we want to. And you know, it's crazy how after every team had played one game, there was these just definitive conclusions drawn just all over social media. It's just like, yeah, I get it, guys. Like it had been a while since we had some regular season basketball to talk about, and a while since we've all played fantasy basketball. But we can relax. It can just be one really good game or one really bad game to start the season. Things will correct themselves as they do.
They will. And the poor old Indiana Pacers, we were chatting about it off air. I don't know who they annoyed during the off season, but they seem to have taken that mantle away from, well, I was going to say taken it away from Memphis, but they're also not super healthy. But the Pacers just seem to be dropping like flies at the moment. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll get some Pacers questions. All right, let's dive in. All is well. The knee is coming along well. I made it to the US and I survived and I came back. So the knee is okay, which is a good thing. All right, here we go. Andy Cruz traded Porzingis and Sexton for Miles Turner. Did I get cooked in a points league? Porzingis and Sexton for Miles Turner in a points league. I would rather Porzingis there.
Yeah, I think I agree, especially with Sexton starting now. Miles Turner obviously is incredible in a category league. It's still good in a points league, but yeah, I think Sexton's at his best in a points league. So I feel like I probably prefer the Kristaps and Colin Sexton package.
Yeah, I think so. All right. Some of these are comments rather than questions. So I'll put them up anyway because it's easier to read it on the screen. Lost my first week matchup by 0.01 field goal percentage, so that's rough. But surely Dyson and Amen will soon learn how to shoot. Yes, I put this up on Twitter. Don't react to your week one result. It was a weird schedule for starters. We had like 2-3 days with 10 or 12 games and a couple of days with 2 games and 3 games. It was strange. I know in one of my matchups, I played about 9 fewer games than my opponent. So Dyson and Amen, yeah, it's been I don't know, what a modest start to the season for both of those guys, I think.
It's a nice way to put it.
I mean, we knew Dyson was going to be pretty passive offensively. He's probably the fifth option on offense on that Atlanta team now. So he'll be fine. Amen will be fine. They're all getting used to playing with Kevin Durant without Fred VanVleet as well. That's also what you have to take into account. Amen has the ball in his hands a lot. So I'm not too worried about Dyson and Amen. What about you?
I'm not worried about Amen Thompson. I think he will figure things out. My fear with Dyson is not that he's going to continue to like shoot the ball as poorly as he has. Like he's not a great shooter, but I think that field goal percentage will improve. That's the fact that, like you said, like he probably is the fifth scoring option in the starting lineup. And when you have Keil Alexander-Walker coming off the bench and Onyeka Okongwu, even Luke Kennard, even though he doesn't like to shoot as much as he should, like those guys are better offensive players or better shooters than Dyson Daniels. So does he get enough volume, I think is my concern, which is probably why I didn't end up with him in, I think, any redraft leagues. So,
yeah, and I think pretty much every league that I got him in, I was punting points. So I could not care less if he shoots 2 of 3 or 5 of 12. I'd obviously rather 2 of 3 because I don't care about the points. Here we go. Here's a Pacers question and a regular viewer, Hinny. Should I hold Isaiah Jackson after the Wiseman drop or drop him for Keon Ellis, who's starting now and has the back-to-back? Yeah, Isaiah Jackson, I wasn't that high on him coming into the season. I thought give him a look and see what happens, and not much has happened. To me, the Wiseman drop doesn't really impact Isaiah Jackson, but the fact that you told me off air, and I hadn't got across this one yet, Obi Toppin is now out for a month. He was sort of playing a lot of that small ball center, and he's not there anymore. So maybe that helps Isaiah Jackson. Would you hold Isaiah just to see how everything settles in Indiana, or would you just get rid of him and grab Keon Ellis?
Maybe for one more game. I think I was ready to drop him like a couple days ago, but the fact that Obi Toppin is out, I think you're right. Obi Toppin was playing like alongside Siakam in some smaller lineups, but they have been giving minutes. They gave Wiseman a start. Tony Bradley's been playing better than Isaiah Jackson, and Jay Huff is still there. So you can give him another chance, but if things don't improve drastically in the next game, I'd be happy to drop, and I don't think it's a bad idea to drop him right now.
No, I don't think I have him anywhere. Maybe I had him in one league. I can't even remember, to be honest. And Keon Ellis, I mean, he was sort of, he's always a pretty divisive kind of a fantasy player because he's very good defensively. People would argue he doesn't get the playing time that he deserves. Sacramento, we know who Sacramento are. They're a pretty messy team when it comes to rotations and understanding how basketball works, apparently. Where are you on Keon Ellis? Like I've picked him up in a couple of leagues, and he's been fine. He's been getting the steals that I need, but is he someone that you would prioritize? Just if we wanted to separate this question into, is Keon Ellis someone we need to roster in standard leagues?
Yeah, I would. I've liked Keon Ellis for a couple of years, and the fact that he moves into the starting lineup then immediately gets into foul trouble is pretty frustrating. But if he is going to continue to start, they do have the back-to-back that's mentioned here in the question over the next 2 days. So that is a good opportunity for him. So, yeah, I'd be giving him a chance here. I think he should have been starting from the jump for this team. He is their best defender in the starting lineup now. So excited to see what he can do. Hopefully he doesn't get into more foul trouble. No,
but Keegan Murray will come back at some point and probably take that starting spot back, whether you think he should or not.
For sure.
He will. Are we worried about Cam Johnson? It's been a slow start to his career in Denver. Is he someone you drafted, and what have you thought of his production so far?
He isn't someone that I was drafting. His production has been not there, not as good as we'd want it to be. it's his first few games with a new team. I know playing next to Jokic, it's supposed to immediately make everything better, but it's been 3 basketball games and he got hurt in this last one. So does he have this like super high upside? Like, sure, he might have a good shooting night every once in a while, but he's not a top option on this offense. So he'll continue to be solid. I mean, I'm not more worried about him than I was at the beginning of the season. I just think it takes a little time to figure things out.
Yeah, and I mean, it's sort of been a weird week. Like that first game, obviously his first game was not good, but he played 32 minutes. The next game, he only played 25, but it was a blowout, so he would have played more. And he was actually pretty good in that game. He had 15 points, 4 rebounds, a steal, only 1 3. And as you said, then in the most recent game, he was injured. So we haven't, it hasn't been a good scenario thus far. And yeah, look, he's probably dropped down the projections a little bit. But I think he'll be okay if you didn't invest a top 50 pick in him, which you shouldn't have. If you sort of took him in that 70 to 80 range, which is where he was going, he'll be close to that. I think he'll still be sort of top 100. So maybe he's not quite as good as we thought, but I still think he'll be fine. All right, for my big man build, are Keyshawn George and Tari Eason about the same in terms of value? Yeah, I think they're probably pretty close, I would say. Eason was a lot better yesterday, which was, I mean, you check the schedule, they play Brooklyn. You know that anyone playing Brooklyn is going to do more stuff. So I thought he looked better yesterday in terms of offense. And Keyshawn obviously was red hot to start the season. His last game was not great, but I don't know. I have these guys fairly similar in terms of projected range. What about you?
With the big man build, are you punting, was that threes, assists? What categories are you punting for that?
Yeah, threes, assists, points, and free throw percentage. I might even have Keyshawn ahead of Tari.
Slightly. Yeah, I still think slightly ahead, the sense that he's starting and did have 2 really monster games, and Tari Eason was really struggling to start the year. I don't think it's that far off in that punt, but I would prefer Keyshawn.
All right. Who would we typically package for AD? I have a bunch of big men, and ESPN refuses to give good old ESPN refuses to give them power forward eligibility. I am willing to offer up Şengün and a second big man for Anthony Davis. I mean, Anthony Davis, he's one of those players, isn't he, that his value is very user dependent. Like some people are going to value him as a top 5 player and others wouldn't go near him because of the injury risk. He was one that I drafted in a lot of leagues. I was happy to take him at pick 6. So far, it's so good, but touch wood, you never know. Şengün has been pretty good. Look, I think I have AD ahead of Şengün. I assume you would agree with that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, generally speaking. So, but if you were offering up Şengün, I wouldn't give up a super. Like if I was giving up Şengün, I might throw in someone like a Rudy Gobert.
Well, I was going to say, who are the other bigs on your team right now? Because that could be maybe help us get some options as to who would be fine to package with Şengün for AD. But yeah, I think, I mean, if it's ESPN, I don't know if it's categories or points, but if it's something that maybe is better for your build, I don't know. Since it's ESPN, right. I'm guessing points, but
okay. Well, let us know. Yeah, let us know who else is on your roster, and we might be able to come up with a second piece for that trade. All right. Hypothetically, if Poeltl were to miss time, do we see Colin Murray-Boyles or Mamu as the ad? So Poeltl left yesterday with a back injury. This is an injury that's been there. It's been hanging around since the preseason. He hasn't looked good to start the season, whether that is the back. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. I mean, you might know this. Did we get any sort of a timeline or any update on Poeltl? Because I would assume he's going to miss at least maybe a week if this is an ongoing back thing that they need to just rest.
It looks like Basketball Monster has a brand new update on Pirtle. So let me see if I can see what that is. But he's listed as doubtful for tomorrow's
Okay.
game.
All right.
So hopefully this isn't the fun game they play where he's doubtful out, doubtful out, doubtful out. The word doubtful just kind of scares me now. As far as who I'd prefer to close out their game against the Spurs last night, it was Colin Murray-Boyles in there. Now he was having a really good game, but it was him matched up with Wemby, and he's not a tall player. So I think I don't know. It could be that Mamu starts, but Colin Murray-Boyles plays more. It could just be that Colin Murray-Boyles starts in place of Pirtle. It'll be interesting to see. I think that CMB has a lot more fantasy upside, though, so I'd rather have him than Mamu.
Yeah, I know you like Colin Murray-Boyles because you stole him from me in one of our leagues.
Probably sounds like me.
Yeah, it does sound like you, doesn't it? Yeah, look, I was sort of thinking about this yesterday as well, and I think I wrote it. I did the player notes for this game, and yeah, I mean, I like Mamu. I just think he's a fun player, but I don't know if he's the answer in terms of winning basketball and that sort of thing. So I'd probably take the flyer on Murray-Boyles, but we have only seen one good game. That first game he played was not good. So it's a very, very, very small sample size. And as you said, if they were to play him at center, they would be undersized. That's an understatement, I think. So Mamu would give them. They also have Jonathan Mobo there as well, who was sort of filling in at center. I think he's a bit of a forgotten option. So, yeah, I think there's different ways they could go here. But if you wanted to just take a flyer on one of them, it probably would be Murray-Boyles for me as well. Okay. Not really. Well, it's sort of a question. Cade managers, this is a safe place to panic and vent. Kingy and Noah would love your thoughts. So just general thoughts on Cade, I suppose. It's been I don't know. What's a nice word we could use for Cade's production? I'd say underwhelming, but still fine.
Yeah, I think he had 3 fine games and 1 bad one, which was just a bad game all around by Detroit. They got destroyed on the second night of a back-to-back, first back-to-back of the season. I don't know. I think it's just early season stuff. Cade Cunningham's going to be just fine. Outside of the Bulls, I'd say they've played 3 really strong defenses with the Rockets, the Celtics, and the Cavs as far as some tough individual matchups for him. He's still been able to make some plays. This last game was bad. The turnovers are going to be there. The field goal percentage isn't going to be great. Like, that's just kind of who he is. So I'm not super concerned. Sure, frustrated by the first week, but he's going to be fine. Yeah,
and I mean, I've got his box score. Yeah, I mean, yesterday's game, I would throw that one in the toilet because it was just disgusting.
Yeah.
But the first 3 games, I mean, the minutes he was basically at 35 plus minutes per game. He scored at least 20 in all the games. He had 10, 9, and 8 assists. He didn't have a lot of defense. That'll improve, but it's not sort of a facet of his game that you're relying on. So, yeah, it's been slightly underwhelming, and I certainly would say this is an opportunity to buy low if his manager is frustrated. But I'm not too worried about Cade. All right, what have we got? We answered this one. We said this was the first question. We both were sort of on the Porzingis and Sexton side of that one, I think. Is Herb Jones a hold in a 10-team points league?
I don't think so.
Yeah, borderline. I think it would depend how deep your rosters are, but if we're talking sort of standard rosters, I would say probably not. I think you could probably stream. It also depends on your settings. If you can just stream, then no, I don't think he is. I think you could stream that spot and get more value. You're nodding away there. I assume you agree.
Yeah, I think being 10-team, not 12-team, being points league, not category league, like there's some really good settings for Herb Jones to be really impactful in fantasy basketball. I just don't think that this is ideal for that.
Yep. Okay, this is Shining Knight. So Shining Knight is another regular viewer, listener on the show. With all the injuries, will Ajax actually do anything? I have my doubts.
We can hope.
Cross fingers, yeah.
We've got no reason for optimism, but maybe.
No. My buddy's basketball team is cooked already. I'm assuming we mean a fantasy basketball team and not a real basketball team. If it's a real one, I can't give you any tips.
This men's league is 0-4. It's been rough Tuesday nights.
Rough social league. Any tips on how he can regain his self-worth? Look, I would say at this time of year, I saying that you're cooked is, I don't know, that seems a bit early after 1 week to say that you're cooked. I put this up on Twitter. Just check what the schedule was like. Check the standings. There were a few leagues where I lost certain categories, but if I then go and look at the standings, I'm the second or third best team. So sometimes you just get unlucky and you get matched up against the team that had Wemby, and he had 400 blocks in the first week. So that isn't going to happen every week. Wemby had 1 block yesterday. So he's going to certainly carry that category, but he's not going to get 9, 6, and what did he get? 9, 6, and 4 or something. It was almost 20 blocks in the week, which is ridiculous. So yeah, check the categories, check the what the schedule was like. But yeah, I wouldn't be giving up. I wouldn't be giving up just yet.
Yeah, I think it's just been 1 week. I can't think of. You have to draft a pretty specific team for injuries to just have absolutely destroyed you at this point, because I can't think of too many just like devastating injuries that have happened since the season started. So I think it'd be fine. Just keep it pushing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a long season. Do we drop Shaden Sharp for Cam Johnson? So who would you rather, Shaden Sharp or Cam Johnson? It's pretty close for me.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have Shaden Sharp. He's shot the ball so bad to start this season, but even if his field goal percentage isn't going to be great, it's going to be better than, I think it might be sub 30%. Well, they played last night. I actually can't remember. Let me see how he did in that game, because that could impact things.
I'm just pulling up.
A little bit better, 6 of 16. So still not great, but it's been sub 40%. Maybe it's like 28.8%, I believe, over the course of the season. So
yeah, that's really the only issue. It's just his shooting. The minutes are there. He's scoring 15 plus a game, despite, as you said, shooting under 30%. He's had 8 steals, 8 assists, rebounds have been fine. Free throws, he hasn't missed a free throw. So it's purely his shooting, and he will be better than a 29% shooter. So I'd probably I'd go with Sharp here. I just think he has more upside playing on this Portland team than Cam Johnson does on that Denver team. Are we dropping Nembhard or Eason for Trey Johnson? Trey Johnson, another rookie that's been impressive so far. Would you have Trey Johnson over either of those guys?
I think if there isn't an IL spot for Nembhard, there's the lack of clarity on that timeline worries me. So I'm not going to drop him. Eason, it kind of just depends on categories, because I feel like Trey Johnson is going to be a pretty consistent scorer for a rookie off the bench, but it really hasn't happened yet. Tari Eason has way more defensive upside, so that's just going to depend on categories for me.
Yep, fair call. Do we think Cason Wallace is worth holding on to? I've had some questions about him. I was relatively high on him as a late round guy, but really, wherever I drafted him, I just wanted steals from him. And I think that side of the game for him has been okay. He's been defending quite well. And if you watch them play, he is pretty key to what they're doing. Like, he's out there, he's playing minutes. So I think you hold on to him in those situations where you're just looking for steals. But if you're more sort of a more balanced approach, maybe you don't need him if you've got like a Dyson or I don't know who else is getting steals. Keyshawn has been pretty good for steals. But if you're sort of okay for steals, then I'd be okay to move on from Case and Wallace. But I'm holding him in most spots.
Yeah, I'd hold on to him at least until Jalen Williams gets back because he is going to keep starting. So might as well ride it out until he's not, because then the upside does kind of decrease. But for now, I don't see a reason to drop him. It's been a few bad shooting nights, but couldn't regress, certainly.
Jaylen Brown, where do we think he finishes this year? He was someone I didn't end up drafting him anywhere. Just the risk, the shutdown risk, which I know some people thought was sort of overstated a little bit. But yeah, I think if you drafted him, he would be a player that I would consider moving off if he has a good sort of week or 2 weeks. I'd consider moving him for a top 50 player.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good range for him. The defensive stats really haven't been there, which has really knocked his 9-cap value down pretty low. And he's turning the ball over a lot, but incredibly high usage as expected.
Yeah,
and that's going to continue. So I think his value will improve. As far as where he might finish in a just straight 9-cap value, I mean, he's assuming he gets back inside the top 100. It's just kind of the volatility of steals that he's just waiting to swing back his way.
Yeah, and free throws can be a bit of an issue for him, as we know, as well from time to time. So do we think Rudy will be a top 80 in a points league? He's another guy I wasn't super high on him this season based on what we saw last season. He's been okay, I think. And without Anthony Edwards there, everyone's going to have to chip in a little bit more. In a points league, do I think he'd be top 80? Maybe. It'll be close. I think he's in that range.
Yeah, I mean, he can be. It hasn't been. I don't know. Maybe honestly, I'd lean towards maybe not, but I don't think he's going to be dramatically further down than that. So he's not going to be like outside the top 100. We kind of know exactly what he's going to provide. So no more, no less.
Yeah, and his role is very, very secure. Like his minutes aren't going anywhere. We know he's starting. Looking to trade away Bam for a team that needs 3s, assists, and steals. Who could I target? LaMelo, Derek White. Who else? LaMelo's been really good. The whole Brandon Miller thing concerns me because we know that if the Hornets start losing games, then we start losing players as well. So I'm hoping that they can continue their strong start to the season. But yeah, look, I think Bam for me is like a top 30 player, maybe. So I'd consider both of those guys in that range. Derek White is a bit of a buy low at the moment because he's been shooting the ball poorly as well. So I'd be okay with those guys as potential targets. Anyone else jump off the page to you in that Bam range?
Yeah, I think that's the key there is within the same range that provides 3s, assists, and steals. Because there's obviously a handful of players that are better and a handful of players that are a good bit worse that can. Just trying to see if there's something that would actually make sense as far as who to trade for. I mean, I doubt you're able to swing this at this point, but Austin Reeves. But I'm sure, like at this point, when I was doing the Q&A earlier with Raph, somebody was asking about if you should sell high on Austin Reeves, and we were like, yeah, like if you can. And then I posed the question to Raph of like, would you trade Austin Reeves for Trae Young? Like, who would you rather have? Or if someone offered you Austin Reeves for Trae Young, he said he'd rather have Austin Reeves. And I don't necessarily agree, but I think it could be a conversation. And it's pretty close. So it's like, you're probably not gonna be able to trade Bam for Austin Reeves, but anyways, that's another option, I guess.
Yeah. Who would we prefer to hold, Portis or Santi Aldama in a 9-cat league? I'd probably hold Aldama, but
yeah, I'd say Aldama as well, but I don't feel like neither has been great so far.
No, Portis. It's pretty clear that Portis needs Giannis out to be valuable because We had Kuzma out, and it didn't impact Portis at all. So, yeah, I think Aldama, as we know, Memphis, they get a lot of injuries. So Aldama's going to find a way to value. Who will likely be negatively impacted once Bilal returns? Do we see Trey Johnson starting soon? Well, I don't know. Again, I'm not super high on Bilal, but obviously if he moves into the starting lineup, someone's going to be impacted. I'm hoping it's not Keyshawn George. I'm sort of hoping that he has done enough to prove that he should be one of their starters. But I mean, maybe he gets impacted. Chris Middleton, who hasn't been great, maybe he gets impacted a little bit. I don't think there's any one player that sort of takes a sizable hit once Bilal is back, because he's not a high usage player. So he's not sort of taking the ball out of anyone's hands, so to speak. And is Trey Johnson going to start? I've already argued that I think he might be better than Bub Carrington after 4 games, however many they've played. Do you think that they do move Trey Johnson in? And is there anyone that I've missed in terms of the Bilal question?
I think for the Bilal, it just entirely depends on if he's going to start or not and who he's going to replace in the starting lineup. Would they bump Chris Middleton or CJ McCollum to the bench for him, or do they value having those veterans in the starting lineup? Could it be Bub Carrington that's actually bumped to the bench for Bilal, or does he just come off the bench and have to basically earn his spot back? For Trey Johnson, I agree. I think he should be starting. It's just, are they going to do it? Are they going to make it happen? But yeah, they're starting CJ McCollum and Chris Middleton, and I get the argument for it and like having veteran presence that can help these young guys develop. But like, I want to see Trey Johnson and Bilal Coulibaly, when he's back, replace both of them in the starting lineup, and let's just roll with the young guys. But that's me being selfish and biased and wanting the old guys to sit on the bench.
Yeah, and we can be biased on this show. Do we think JJ for Randall is a vetoable trade? JJ, are we talking Jalen Johnson?
I assume
Jaren could be Jaren Jackson, but most people call him Triple J, surely.
Yeah, you have a third J.
Yeah, so if it's Jalen Johnson for Randall, is that vetoable? No, I don't. I mean, I don't think it's a super fair trade, but I don't think it's wildly unfair either.
Yeah,
it would depend. It would depend who offered the trade, and because at this point it's hard to think that anyone is colluding or throwing in the towel. Like if someone's got Jalen Johnson on their team and they're willing to give him up for Julius Randle, they must have their reasons. Like if this was week 20 and Jalen Johnson was a top 15 player or top 20 player and Randall was a top 80 player, you could discuss the validity of it. But at this point of the season, I think if they both accepted, I'd go okay.
Yeah, I think it's just a really unfair trade. But if you are just caught up on what Julius Randle has done so far and the fact that Anthony Edwards is going to miss time, and maybe it's not that much time, but that he is injured, I guess those factors could play into maybe you really want to buy in on Julius Randle. I don't agree, but no, I don't think that that's vetoable, but I'm not going to find too many trades that I think are worthy of a veto.
No. Should we be concerned with Pirtle, Cam Johnson, or Brown? Pirtle, we talked about, he's got the back injury, so I'd just hold him and see what he looks like once he's back. Cam Johnson, I think will settle in fine. He'll be in that top 100 range. Brown's been a little bit disappointing as well. But we saw this from him last year. He had periods where he was unrosterable almost, but then he figured things out. So again, it's all perspective. It depends where you drafted these players. If you took Brown with the 75th pick, then you were probably going too high. And yes, he's going to be a disappointment. But if you took him with 110, I think he'll still be a fairly solid top 100 player.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned. It's been 1 week. I'll be concerned if it keeps up for 2 more weeks.
Yeah. All right, there's a lot of questions in here, so I might have to be a bit selective with them, and we can't answer all of them. How long do we see Cooper playing the point guard position? Any chance that D'Lo moves in to that role? Well, I know Cooper Flag injured his shoulder, but he's probable or questionable for their next.
He said he's going to be fine to play. We'll see, but like that's what he said.
Okay. Yeah, look, I mean, D'Lo has been, well, he wasn't great yesterday, but he played 30 minutes. So the last 2 games have been encouraging if you drafted D'Lo or you picked him up off waivers. I think I get playing Cooper at point guard. I get why they were doing it, but at this point in his career, to put that much pressure on a guy that isn't really a point guard, he's a point forward. He can handle the ball, absolutely, but to me, it makes sense having D'Angelo Russell, whether you like him or hate him, he is a point guard. So I think there is a chance that D'Angelo, whether he starts at point guard or just continues sort of playing as the point guard off the bench and playing 30 minutes a night. So whether he starts, I don't know, but I do think that he could push back into that 12-team discussion.
Yeah, it's hard to say because they have been kind of just letting Cooper Flag figure it out, and it hasn't gone well at all. But when do you just kind of stop? I'm not sure exactly. So there's a chance, I think, that they move D'Angelo Russell into the starting point guard spot. And if that happens, yes, I think he is a 12-team player. It's just hard to say if or when that happens.
Okay, where are we? Let's go. We can fly through some of these and sort of get rid of all the pieces of the question. Do we think Alex Sarr can be a top 40 player? Let's simplify it. I wouldn't say top 40. I think maybe top 60, top 70.
Yeah, I think that's a fair range. I don't think he's ready for top 40 this season.
Not quite, no. Josh Minot or D'Angelo Russell, who would we rather in a 9-cat league? Minot started yesterday, which was pretty annoying if you dropped him like 2 days earlier, which I had in one league. I'd probably go D'Lo at the moment, only because I don't know if this Minot starting thing is going to stick.
Yeah, I agree. I think D'Angelo Russell's a much safer option, and Joe Mazzulla has been kind of tinkering with the lineup, so would be too risky to go Minot.
Minot or Colin Murray-Boyles for a must-add? I don't think either of them are must-adds, but if you have a choice of those two, that's pretty close.
I'd prefer CMB, and I feel pretty confident.
I think if we get word that Pirtle is going to miss some time here, the Raptors aren't always super forthcoming when it comes to injuries, as we know. If we get a yes, Pirtle's out for 2 weeks, I'd go Colin Murray-Boyles for sure. Do we think Mac McClung will have value? I dropped Jay Huff for him in hopes he would. I hope so. I love Mac McClung, and I'd love to see him. This is a perfect situation, in theory, for him to prove that he can be an NBA player. Now, whether he can be, that's another question. But with all the injuries, do you think Mac McClung has a role on this team?
He has a role. I don't think he's a guy I'm looking to roster at this point. Feel free to take a chance, and hey, somebody's got to play the minutes, and somebody's got to put the ball in the hoop. So maybe it's him. I don't feel confident.
Do we believe in Colin Coward in Cedric? Not Colin Coward.
I was like, yeah, Colin Coward.
Colin Coward. Yeah.
Cedric.
Cedric Coward in Memphis. Do we believe in him? He's been good. I'm not convinced that he's going to be sort of must roster. They've got some injuries. Oh, are we back? That's my unstable Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's my unstable Wi-Fi.
I didn't know if it was me or if it was you, so I was just waiting.
No, I think it's me. So we'll see how we go. But we will start to wrap it up anyway because we are at 40 minutes. And I'm sure you have things to do. So Cedric Coward, are we a believer?
I much prefer Cedric Coward over Colin Coward. And yeah, I think he's absolutely worth rostering at this point. He's been phenomenal to start this season.
Okay. All right. What else have we got? We've done that one. Okay. The Pelicans center rotation. Who should get more minutes? I like Derek Queen. I took a flyer on him in a couple of leagues.
Yeah, I mean, it just shouldn't be DeAndre Jordan. I'd love to see Karlo Matkovic get some minutes as well. Eve Nisi gets some too, but yeah, I want to see what they have in Derek Queen. I think they need to see what they have in Derek Queen if they gave up their first for this upcoming draft to be able to get him.
Yep. Lowry Markkinen for Amen Thompson. Is that a good trade? It's a good trade if you're getting Amen Thompson.
Yes, that is. Yes, that's what you do. That's a good fantasy basketball trade. That's buying or selling high and buying low right there. That's textbook.
Yep. Very good, very good. Well, I mean, we know the answer to this one. It's a rest of season question, but DeAndre Hunter or Obi Toppin. I'd probably go DeAndre Hunter. Obi Toppin has been good, but the Pacers are so injured and he's out for a month. So,
yeah, I think just the sense that Obi Toppin is out at least a month because, like, who knows with these injury stuff? If it's a month-long absence, that doesn't mean they're going to be back in 30 days. Like, it could end up being a couple extra weeks or something. So I just can't wait that long. I'd rather have DeAndre Hunter.
Okay. Is Ty Jerome worth holding in an IR spot?
If you don't have anybody else to put in there, sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'd with the amount of injuries that we get nowadays and missed games, having someone like Ty Jerome plugging up that spot. If you only have one IR spot, then I probably wouldn't. If you have 3 or 4, then I think I'm okay with it. But if he's taking up your IR spot for the next however long, I don't think I would. Here's one. Okay. Sion James. If Brandon Miller is out for a month, which at the moment we think he is, what do you think about Sion James? Sexton and Knipple are the two sort of easy, yes, we need to add these guys. But Sion James has looked pretty good. Do you think that he's worth a fly?
Yeah, I think in deeper leagues, I'd be fine with that. On like a standard 12-team league, I'm not sure. But worth keeping an eye on probably in a standard league. But yeah, in maybe like a 14 or 16 team league, I'd probably be looking to take a chance on him.
Yep. Would you trade a Kongwu to get Pirtle?
I would not. I'd rather have a Kongwu, even if he has been coming off the bench. He's been good, and there's been enough minutes for both him and Porzingis.
Yeah, I think Pirtle probably maybe he finishes as a top 60 player and a Kongwu. Like they're so close. I think just with the health and all the concerns, I'd keep a Kongwu as well. What can we expect from Scoot this season? I was pretty high on him before the injury. Just I thought that he would start, but if the Blazers are going well when he comes back and Drew Holiday is starting, I'm probably going to temper my expectations a little bit on Scoot. I still think I drafted him in one league and just put him into my IR spot. He's probably a couple of weeks away, I think. I don't know. Where are you on Scoot?
I think it's tough because we already didn't know how he was going to fit into the rotation next to Drew Holiday before he got hurt. And now it's like, okay, how's this going to work when he gets back after being hurt? And how's it going to work with now a new head coach? So there's a lot of unknown there about what his opportunity is going to look like. If he plays, I'm expecting him to improve and be better than he was last year. Still good assists, hopefully a little bit more efficient and a few extra points, but I think we can't expect this 30-year breakout if he's trying to rehab a hamstring injury and then get right into things.
Okay. Here's an interesting one. Fantasy experts glazing and hyping up Pirtle, Kamara, Asar, and Men have been horrible. Why do we charge for projections? Well, I don't charge for projections. I would say Pirtle has a back injury. Kamara has been fine, I think. Asar has been pretty good. I know he was bad yesterday, but Detroit were terrible. And a man has been okay. I mean, he's just figuring out how to play the point guard spot. So I don't think they're great examples of players that have been horrible. Other than, I mean, Pirtle, I think we could argue he's been horrible, but he's clearly dealing with an injury.
Yeah, I think among these guys, I liked Kamara. Wasn't quite as high on him. I like him as a player, but I wasn't quite as high on him in fantasy as other people. I wasn't super high on Pirtle, but like I see the reason why. Asar and Amen I was very high on. It's also, I would say, I don't have projections either. We do everything. The Old Man Squad Fantasy Basketball or Old Squad Sports Network is all free, so no charges there. But also, I will say for anyone that does projections, especially people that charge for them, they are good at what they do, and they are 82 game projections, not 4 game or 3 game projections.
Games,
so
not a week.
I think that any sort of projection is not. This is exactly what's going to happen every game. It's just things change throughout the season, so it's. If you want to have a complaint after the season and it's totally off, that's more fair. But I think at this point, it's still October, so we'll give them a little bit more time.
Yeah, that's right. It's a week. You go through the rankings at the moment, and yeah, they're all over the place. And I can guarantee you that someone like I don't know, Aaron Gordon is not going to be the 10th ranked player when we get to. Whenever the season ends, April or whatever. So we're not worried too much. All right, what have we got? We don't really have any injury updates. This one's in here twice, so let's do it. Should I drop Kevin Porter for Jakob Poeltl? Well, very different players. I mean, this is probably as simple as what stats do you need, because they are completely opposite when it comes to stat set. So do you need guard stats? Do you need big man stats? Kevin Porter is injured. Jakob Poeltl is injured. Sure. If you need blocks and rebounds and field goal percentage, then yeah, you could do that. But if you don't, then I wouldn't.
Yeah, it does come down to categories. In a vacuum, I'd prefer Poeltl over Kevin Porter Jr., though.
Would you trade Austin Reeves and VJ Edgecombe for LeBron James? I would not. I think Reeves could end up better than LeBron, just as a one-for-one kind of trade. Yeah, who knows how many games LeBron plays?
That's the main thing, I think, is I think Austin Reeves, when this team is fully healthy, is going to take more of a backseat. Not like his production is going to drop off a cliff or anything like that, but like he's not going to have 50 and 40 points when Luka's playing, and he's probably not going to average 25 a game when LeBron's playing. So no, I'd be shooting much higher than LeBron if I was trying to trade Reeves and VJ to consolidate into one player.
Here's a nice dynasty question. Is VJ better than Flag? I'll let you take the floor on that one.
No, it's been a really nice start to VJ Edgecombe's career. It's been a disappointing start to Cooper Flag's career. Cooper Flag is still at this point, just like 3 or 4 games into his career, a top 6 or 7 dynasty asset, and VJ is a top 50. Both are going to have really, really good careers at this point. I don't think we can change too much about our rankings just off a few games.
Is Royce O'Neal a 12-team player right now? I did his player blurb yesterday. He's been pretty good for a Phoenix team that sucks. He has been fairly consistent, his role, his production. So I think he is.
He started with Dylan Brooks out, and I think if Dylan Brooks remains out, then he is. But if Brooks is back, I can't roster a Phoenix Suns bench player in a pretty standard-sized league.
Another Austin Reeves question. Is he a sell high? He is a sell high.
It's just how high can you sell?
How high? That's right. Yeah. Okay.
If you're in a league with Raphael Johnson, he said he would trade Trae Young for Austin Reeves. Now I know Raph is not drafting Trae Young in any of his leagues, so
Yeah.
maybe don't try and make that happen. But the off chance that he didn't tell me about a league he has Trae Young in.
All right. So we'll throw Raph under the bus if you're, throw out a trade for him. Even if you're not in a league with him, just message him and say, can we trade? With Beal out, God, Beal. What a rough start to the season or whatever for Beal. Stream Chris Dunn or Al Horford. Ugh, neither are super appealing, are they?
I thought Chris Dunn was going to start with Bradley Beal out. We'll see if that happens tonight. I can't believe they went bogey after Tyronn Lue just wasn't playing at all. And then was like, yeah, you can start. And then he was like 5 turnovers and scoreless or something.
Yeah, he did nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Terrible.
Is Cam Johnson, a lot of Cam Johnson questions. Is Cam Johnson droppable in a 12-team points league? I think I'd still hold him.
Too early to definitively drop, unless there's just someone significantly better on the waiver wire.
Do we think that the big calc, so another dynasty sort of question, has rest of season value over picking up someone for injury replacement? So basically, do we think Ryan Kalkbrenner is going to be a 12-team player for the rest of the season? Or would you rather grab a Colin Murray Boyles, for example, who could be the replacement for Jakob Poeltl? So what have you thought of Kalk?
It's Kalkbrenner. So you have to actually say the name right.
Kalkbrenner.
Yeah. So say the. You have to say the nickname correct.
The Australian version is Kalkbrenner.
Oh, really? I was just trying to get you to say the big Kalk, but
I can say the big Kalk.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Does he have rest of season value? I would say, yeah. I think he can be a borderline double guy, sky high field goal percentage, a block, just kind of the same things that I said preseason. It's been pretty good so far. Not expecting super high highs. There'll probably be some frustrating games, but I would stick with him for now.
Yep. All right. Let's just do maybe one more. Sorry, we couldn't get to all the questions, but there are so many in here. Okay. Here's an interesting one. Would you trade Asar for Dyson? Ooh, why not both? I have both of them on so many teams. Would I trade Asar?
Choose your favorite child, Kingy. That's what they're asking.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah. So who would I rather? I might go with Asar. I just think he has the opportunity, as we said at the top of the show. Offensively, Dyson is so far down that pecking order, and I also don't think he wants to shoot. That's another issue, is that he is happy to just pass the ball and play defense. Where I think Asar, we've seen snippets of offensively that he is looking to do a little bit more. He's being a bit more aggressive, other than yesterday's game, which was terrible. So I might prefer Asar there slightly over Dyson, which is really hard to say. But yeah, I think it's a fair trade.
Yeah, I think this is a tough one because Asar was going 40 spots later than Dyson on average. Yeah. And this would be buying really low on Dyson. But I think Asar is going to be and continue to be more involved in offense than Dyson is. And it doesn't even seem like Dyson's not hitting shots. He's not taking many shots, and he's not getting as many assists because Jalen Johnson's there. Whereas with Jaden Ivey out, Asar Thompson's getting a ton of usage and is able to score. Yeah, it would be pretty difficult for me to trade Asar Thompson for Dyson Daniels right now.
Yep.
Crazy to say.
Here's a trade. This can be our last one. Do we think Porzingis and Curry for Şengün is good value? If you're getting Porzingis and Curry, I do.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have Porzingis and Curry. obviously, if Porzingis isn't playing basketball, that changes things, and then it ends up. But it ends up being a fairly even trade. Curry for Şengün just kind of depends on categories. So I think the fact that you're getting this whole other player that has like top 25 per game upside.
Yeah.
Inside, you kind of have to go Porzingis and Curry here.
Yeah. Assuming it's Steph Curry and not Seth Curry, but
that's a good point.
Yeah, let's make.
If it's Seth Curry, that changes everything.
It does. And D Smooth, no worries at all. Yeah, we're having fun here at the old man squad, aren't we? I think it's.
I'm having fun.
Say that we're having fun. Are the Utah Jazz good? No, they're not good. They've had a good start.
Good try, Chad.
Yeah.
They can't fool me.
No. I do love that they're competing and playing well, because for those of us that have a lot of Walker Kessler and Lowry Markkanen and those guys, it's been a good start to the season. But yeah, no, they're not. They're not good. All right, I'm going to let you go, because we've been here for an hour. We had a ton of questions. Maybe we make this a regular thing. It sort of depends on your schedule, but you're in mailbag mode because you do the Roto World show. And my seamless segue there. What is happening with your shows that you do and everything? Where can people find you?
Yeah, now that it's in season, you have to give me a second to cycle through everything. Because I'm not going to remember, but 2 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays and Fridays, I do the Roto World Q&A with Raph. So tune in for those. It's just like this. And I love these shows because I don't have to at least try and throw together some sort of prep before I do it. I just kind of hop on and talk for an hour and see what happens. Hopefully good things come out of my mouth. I don't know. Then didn't do one today because got too busy and was up too late blurbing, but was trying to do 5 Young Man Squad episodes a week, 1 per day. Some other shorter videos on the Roto World site, obviously a ton of blurbs, a weekly column that's more tailored for that Yahoo high score format that comes out on Fridays, just trying to help anybody that's making decisions going into the weekend about who to start or who to sit. Can also just be valuable for streaming heading into a weekend. Probably more things. I guess a lot of blurbs.
Yep.
I think that's I think that's pretty much everything. We'll go with that.
That's a lot. Even if it's not, I think that's enough. You're doing enough. So, find Noah at Noah Rubin 22. I have to do this before we jump out because today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, and I know I have to get that ad read in. Dan will ask me, when was the ad read? So, I talked about this on my show yesterday. Jump over to FanDuel, to the website there, sportsbook.fanduel.com. Some of those player odds, the over-unders, they're starting to shuffle and change based on what we've seen in the first week, but there's still some nice value over there on some of those player props. And the over-under, I don't know what it is for the Pacers currently, but I'm pretty sure I'd go the under based on what we've seen in the first week. Without wanting to overreact too much. But head over to the FanDuel website, lay down some money over there. Find Noah at Noah Rubin 22. Find me at Adam King 91. Subscribe to the Old Man Squad YouTube channel. Go and find us, all of our shows, over on the audio platforms, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Download. We're all about the numbers and the data and all of that. It all helps us to do this. Thank you for coming on the show. That was a lot of questions. Sadly we can't get to them all, but we appreciate the questions, and we might make this a regular thing, given how many people were watching along. Thank you, Noah. He is Noah Rubin. I am Adam King. This has been Stuff It, a fantasy basketball podcast. We are done.